I'm Betsy, and welcome to another episode of 6-1 Forward. Next week's episode is all about art with Jeremy Mangerchine. But before we get to the episode, we're going to talk about an upcoming art show. Jeremy, Cheryl Stauffer of Crimson Design, and Brandi Al-Issa of Habitat for Humanity, Mid-Ohio. So, let's talk about the upcoming show and how all of this comes together. Jeremy?
Yes.
Is this your first show in Columbus?
It's my first show in Columbus, which is kind of hard to believe.
It is.
Yes.
And how did you come to connect with Cheryl to have your show here at Crimson Design?
Cheryl and I were introduced through mutual friends. And isn't that the way the best things in life happen, is through genuine and authentic relationships where a friend meets a friend, that friend quickly becomes a friend. Yeah. And that's where the best opportunities come. So we were just talking and processing things, and the idea came up, and it was just too good to be true. So we had to do it.
Cheryl, I know we're surrounded by art here at your salon space, but also at Crimson Design in general. And I've been to your house, which is also full of beautiful art. So to me, it made a lot of sense that you would be part of this. Can you talk about what art means to you and to be hosting? Is this your first show?
No. But it's our first show with Jeremy.
There you go.
And super excited. I mean, like he said, the second we met, we just had this instant connection and saw some of his art. And I'm like, let's do it. I love to have a party. And so art and great people, alcohol, why not? It's like perfect for a party. And, at Crimson, we're all about art is everyday living. And it's more than just a piece of art. There's the human connection part of it, the spirit behind the creation of everything that we're creating as human beings. And so this was just an amazing opportunity.
So more than just an art show, there is a component of this that actually brings in Habitat for Humanity.
Yes.
Can you talk about that part?
Yeah, absolutely. As Cheryl mentioned, the original vision for this evening and the shows came through our mutual kind of passion for human connection. And we really wanted there to be a night of where people could come together and connect. There's a lot of things happening in the world at any given time. And what an awesome opportunity for everyone to get together to just share, enjoy, and share an experience together. So there was a kind of a mutual vision there. And then as we continued to talk, we really wanted it to be even bigger than just ourselves and what we could do. And so we wanted to tie in the passion. Cheryl's deeply involved with Habitat for Humanity. I had the privilege of being able to serve Habitat for Humanity previously. And so being impacted by the cause and the impact that Habitat's having, all these worlds came together and the conversation came up of, well, what if we involve them, if they'd be willing? And then we had the conversation with Brandi, and she's like, yes, it's a great idea. And you were a huge part of that, introducing the whole idea, and it all came together. It's just the collaboration. Isn't it funny? Like, we're talking about art, and art is oftentimes about collaborating and bringing ideas into life in visual form. But even the idea and the concept of this show and this exhibition and this kind of night together, as you said, a party, is all of us creating an evening and an experience together. That in and of itself is art. And so I have the privilege of having been able to create a custom painting, which we will be able to have be a very important part of the evening. And the proceeds that come from that piece being auctioned, we'll have the privilege of benefiting Habitat. And so Cheryl is a big partner with Habitat for Humanity. And so
bring your money.
Yeah.
Yes. And you get a fabulous piece of art for it.
Can you talk a little bit about what it means to have people involved with Habitat? And for those who don't know what Habitat is doing and some of the great work and how this only just helps support that.
Yeah, thanks, Betsy, and thanks, Jeremy, and thanks, Cheryl, for your support. So Habitat for Humanity is, of course, a nonprofit. We were founded here locally in Mid-Ohio, or was Greater Columbus, in 1987. And we are a group that focuses on building and financing affordable homes in critical home repairs for families that wouldn't be able to obtain them on the private market, if you will. So as a nonprofit, we rely on a lot of things. We rely on really good board members, which Cheryl is one of. We rely on ambassadors and volunteers and champions, which I would say both you and Jeremy are. And we also rely on philanthropic contributions. We rely on money coming in. Affordable housing is hard to make work. It's expensive to build homes, and we're trying to sell them at affordable prices. So the money that will come from the art piece, of course, will benefit Habitat. But also the opportunity to build more awareness and to tell our story a little bit and to get people aware of that Habitat is here, of what we're doing, and how we're trying to be a leader in helping solve the affordable housing crisis.
It's such a unique idea to auction a piece of art off, but also unique in how the piece came to be. Has Habitat ever done anything like that before that you're aware of?
Not to my knowledge, no. And I do love the idea Jeremy brought in of engaging the one of our partner families. So the person that was involved in the initial stage of this art piece, which Jeremy is way more expert to talk about than me, but I love the fact that we did engage someone who is right now in the process. Her home is under construction. She is a wonderful, very joyful, radiantly happy human being. And I just love that she was directly engaged and gets to be part of furthering Habitat's mission and impact.
So talk about that for a minute, Jeremy. And having in person be part of this piece who's going to be a homeowner of Habitat is a really unique and I would assume special experience. So walk us through or talk us through what that was like.
I believe that art, color has a presence. I believe that the intent that which you create art with has the power to bring life to a space. Everything I create is with purpose. I desire that the things that I create, to whatever space it ends up in, whether it's the home of a collector or whether it's a public space, for when people come in contact with it, for something to come alive within them. So I put words in my work. I put images. I put all kinds of stuff into my work. So for me, a collaboration is I take very seriously, because I think that there's something about it. I don't think it's just materials. I think there's life to it. So being able to partner with a wonderful human being, to be able to put the essence of what's makes her thrive and come alive and what's her passion is, and being able to hear that story, which it was awesome because I resonated so much with that story. There were so many aspects that as those things were shared and as those words and there's images were put onto a canvas, I'm like, yeah, me too. And it truly is a collaboration, and it truly is bringing something to life. And so it was an honor. I mean, it's really cool to be able to do that. I don't just do that lightly. I mean, to me, it's something that I take very seriously. So I'm really glad that she trusted me to be a part of it. And it was really, really amazing to hear her story. And hopefully it continues. The story doesn't just stop there. Wherever the piece ends up, hopefully it becomes a part of someone else's story, where it ends up in a collection or a home. And then the people that come in contact with it get to experience that same joy and that same inspiration that I got to experience, and that hopefully doesn't end there.
That's awesome. So I have told the story several times since last summer that when you and I met as business development people in the industry, I will never forget, we were having breakfast and you said, "Oh yeah, I do. I'm an artist." And that was sort of the end of that part of the conversation. And I don't know that it had ever come up again until this summer when you mentioned it. And I'm not sure how you mentioned it, but then you showed me your art and you showed me your social media following and the beautiful page that you have. And I recall my jaw dropping that here is this incredible talent that we never talked about in all of these years. So I don't know the story before the BD stuff. And I thought maybe it'd be good to start there.
Well, that's because you knew me as the business developer, which is actually my performance art.
Yeah, that's a good way to put that.
It's my persona. Okay, here we go. We have to be a normal human
Right.
being interacting and interfacing with the world as a human, which I can do. And I think I'm pretty decent at it.
Mhm.
But I think the side that you're talking about is also a very real side of me, and it might be the most real side. And I've kind of walked both lives over my existence as a human being. And so at this phase, I'm getting better at integrating the two as one.
Sure.
That's what I think what we're talking about.
So when have you always been creating art?
Yes. Yes. From my youngest days, like as a child, that was always the thing. I did sports, I did things that, a lot of people do. But the thing that always came the most natural to me, and the thing that was something that I could always get like adulation for as a kid, was art.
When did you start? So I know you have pieces that now sit all over the world. When did it transition from being a young budding artist to having an art broker and to seeing your pieces going to incredible places and spaces?
Yes. So, long story, and I'm going to try to not be long-winded, so feel free to interject at any point. The journey of an artist is internal and external all at the same time. And there's no formula. There's no clear-cut path. There's many different art worlds. There's many different art styles. There's many different paths to take with art. So I started really early on, and I had a love-hate relationship with art because I was decent at it. Did it all through high school. I would enter into art shows and win awards and things like that. So the path that was kind of subscribed to me was go to art school, go that path. At the time, for me, there was no clear route. It was either be an industrial designer, be a graphic designer, which are really cool career paths, but they weren't for me. And I was doing a lot of realism younger in life. Like I was just good at it, but I'm such a perfectionist that I loved it, but I hated it more than I loved it, because it wasn't about the process. It wasn't about losing myself in the act of creation, finding my voice. I didn't have a voice. I could make things that look cool, but I wasn't saying anything. And I put art away for a long time, until my late 20s, actually, when I discovered the style that I'm doing now, the practice that I've been working on, which became mine. And I started doing it and became really active. And I don't know what I was trying to do, but I made a lot of bad art. It's just like, that's trash. And then eventually something started to come together, and I found my voice. And I started putting kind of the life experience that I had, the insights that I've had from traveling the world, from experiencing different cultures, from, all the things that I've gleaned, and like it became part of what I create now. And so it's been a lifelong journey to kind of create the work that I've created now. I started posting on Instagram. This is a long time ago. This is old Instagram. This isn't like
the OG
TikTok Instagram. This is OG Instagram, like images. And just post like, hey, this is what I did. And over time, get responses. Hey, is that for sale? Well, maybe. And then art galleries or art consultants would reach out. And before I knew it, like I was having shows and working with designers all over the country, and just all these different really cool things, which is really neat, like super humbled by that, and started developing a practice.
You're following on Instagram of 45,000 people from all over the world. And having an art broker and having people reach out to you is such a vastly different thing from your day to day. And I understand the integration of it, but you have such a unique side to you versus the rest of us that are in business development.
Well, look at you having this wonderful conversation. You're being a creator. So I just wanted to say that there are a lot of others. But yes, it is, I would say, it's similar. There are similarities. Like I joked about being a performance artist, and that's partially a joke, and it's probably also partially true at the same time. but I think everybody has like things within them. And that's a big part of, I think, my message in life, whether it's through my art or just in general. And same with my day-to-day kind of work life. Like, I love seeing people come alive. I love seeing people discover what's within themselves that only they have, and tap into that and boldly and generously manifest that to the world.
So you're the first artist to be on the podcast. Can you talk a little bit about what it's like to be an artist in Columbus, Ohio? What's the art scene like?
I'm still getting to know the art scene. I think we mentioned it earlier. This is kind of my first show here in Columbus. I went to high school in Columbus. Before that, I was from the South. After that, went back South. Never thought I'd come back up here to Ohio. Here I am. It's funny enough, I was living in New Orleans for a long time. That's where I really started my art practice that we're kind of talking about today. And funny enough, I had a show there, and some collectors from Columbus bought my work
Really?
when I was there. And so I had some collectors up here, which is kind of cool. But like, that was my original connection to the kind of the commercial art market in Columbus. And so when we came back here about 5 years ago, I kind of slow played my entry into this market. I wanted to do it in a way that was thoughtful, and I wanted to do it in a way where I didn't force my way in. Maybe it's just because I'm getting a little bit older. Like, younger me tried to force everything. And honestly, that's something like a life lesson I needed to learn, that I'm learning it through art, but I think that applies to all things. There's something about timing, and there's something about like entering into things, and it just needed to happen in the right way at the right time. And I really feel like that's what this evening that we're talking about is going to be kind of about. And because of that, it's really special to me, regardless of kind of, the expectation. There's no expectation other than just gratitude.
I was going to ask what the emotions are like when you have a show that's upcoming, especially maybe your first one in Columbus. What does that feel like?
Feels like a lot of things. I have a lot going on. I have a really awesome family. I'm a husband. I'm a father to 3 awesome sons. We're very busy. I have a job that it's very important to me that I do really well. And then I have an art practice, and I'm preparing for a show with upwards of 20 plus pieces. It's a very busy time of life. And so the emotions are a lot of things. I think for me, my practice, I really had to evaluate over the last couple of years, like what I wanted it to be and how does it look in the life that I live. And so I've kind of learned a lot about myself and the practice and the work itself through this process. So there's going to be a lot of emotions personally. I think there already is, there already are. But just the fact that like people would show up, just the fact that like you, for example, and Brandi and Cheryl, like, are willing to be a part of this and to like help make this happen. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's just super generous and super cool. And I'm really grateful for that. So like all that coming together in one evening, and then like a bunch of other people coming to just be a part of that. Like, I hope that like it really benefits a lot of people.
I'm really excited. And I can't wait to see the pieces, especially the habitat piece.
Yes.
And I know that our industry is really excited for you. And I'm sure others that'll be joining that night are looking forward to it and supporting and celebrating you too.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing art with all of us, your art. Appreciate it.
Yeah.